Hi, it's Claire from Inspiratrix Yoga here. This is a class that's really gentle, and it's about bringing more mobility to your spine through focusing on a particular area, bringing breath and healing and more movement, more energy, and more circulation to that area. Enjoy. Lie on your back on the floor with the knees bent. So this kind of position. Rest the hands on the belly and feel the belly rise and fall underneath your hands. Today, I want you to focus on the muscles that run alongside the spine. So in the middle of the back, you've got the column of vertebra, the bones of your spine with discs in between. And then either side, on the left and right of the vertebra, you've got this long, thick kind of band of muscles. There's kind of different muscles interweaving in and out of those two columns. Some people call them erector spinae muscles. Some people call them multifidus muscles. It's like these two big bands of muscles running up and down either side of the spine. And they're really important to our structure and holding us up and keeping the spine stable. But if you've ever had a massage, sometimes there are parts of the back that can get really tight. And it can feel really good to move them and stretch them out. So as you lie here and breathe deeply, I want you to become a little more aware of the muscles either side of the spine. Notice how that whole area feels today. And I want you to pick just a section of it to focus on. Maybe an area that feels tight or an area that feels numb and disconnected. And through this class, you'll be breathing into that part of your spine and connecting to the muscles either side of the spine. Just getting to know your back in that area. So keep sending the breath there. Just notice the feeling of the breath reaching that part of the back. And if it helps to push that bit of spine down against the mat a little, so you can really feel that the breath is reaching that area, then feel free to do that. Particularly connecting to feeling the muscles either side of the spine. Let's stretch them out very, very gently. If you bring your right knee in towards your chest and left knee in towards your chest, hold onto them with your hands and just pull the knees closer to the chest a little. So it's making a little bit of length in the lower part of the spine, lower part of the back. Inhale, pulling the knees in. Exhale, just relax that, let the knees move away a little. Inhale, pull the knees in with a sense of lengthening the lower back, the base of the spine. Exhale, relaxing that. Doing 2 more breaths in that way. And then release the knees, let the feet come down to the floor and clasp the hands behind the head. We'll do a slightly similar thing, but we're focusing on the other end of the spine. Bring your elbows closer together. Great. And then feeling for moving from the core rather than pulling on the head and neck. On the inhale, you'll just lift the shoulders and the head up off the floor. So the upper part of the spine is lengthening. And then on the exhale, bring the head back down to the floor. So on inhale, just being aware of the core, lifting the head and shoulders up, not pulling on the neck or shoulders, but just allowing there to be more length in the upper back. Inhale, head and shoulders back down. Do 2 more like that. Then place the hands on the floor. Bring the hands back to the belly. For some transverse abdominis contractions, because as we kind of feel for connecting to the spine, it's great to bring in the core so that there's that support for the spine, because otherwise, one of the reasons some of these muscles along the back work so hard and get so tight is because they're trying to do work that the core could also be helping with. So let's start to switch that on. Have the hands, maybe have the middle fingers resting above the pubic bone and the heels of the hands on the front of the hip bones. And then we'll be contracting the front of the hip bones inwards towards each other. Let's do that on an exhale though. So inhale, sending the breath into that spot in your back. Exhale and contract the front hip bones together. Feel like the heels of the hand moving a little bit closer together. Inhale, relax that. Send your breath into your spot around the spine. Exhale, contracting the belly, contracting the front hip bones together, getting this subtle core switch on. Do 2 more breaths like that. Inhaling to your spot, exhaling, contracting. Take the hands a little higher up on the belly now, but still resting on the soft part. And we'll feel for bringing the upper abdominals into that contraction as well. Still feeling for a sense of, with this, it's like a sense of both halves of the belly pulling towards the center. So hands a little higher on the belly, but still below the ribs. Inhale into your spot. Exhale, pull both halves of the belly towards the midline. Connecting to lower belly and upper belly. Inhale, relax the core. Breathe into your spot. Exhale, contracting both halves of the belly towards the midline. Feel for if that can help support your spot. Do 2 more like that. Next, we'll be bringing an arm movement into this. Bring your hands so that they're near the hips on the floor, with the little fingers on the floor and the thumbs pointing up towards the ceiling. Inhale, activate your feet and send your breath to your spot. Exhale, do that abdominal contraction. And also sweep the arms out to the side, just as far as feels comfortable in your shoulders, but feeling a really strong connection to the belly. Inhale, let the arms sweep back down, sending breath to your spot. On the exhale, arms come out to the side, connecting to the belly, feeling for the support of the belly in this movement. Do 2 more full rounds of breath. After that, come to resting with the hands next to the hips. We will do a lying down twist now with one knee bent. It might be helpful to have a cushion. And in fact, go get a cushion now because you'll need a cushion for the next one after this. This is a lying down twist with one knee bent and one leg straight. So have your right leg straight on the floor, left knee bent, and then you'll roll all the way over to the right and keep rolling until the knee comes to the floor. Now, if your head feels awkward here, put a cushion underneath the head to support your neck. And then you'll take your left hand and reach it out past the head, rest it on the floor. Or if that doesn't feel comfortable, you could maybe have the hand on the hip instead. And then with your right hand, take that hand onto the left-hand side of the ribs. Take a giant breath into whichever part of your spine you chose to focus on. Exhale, feel for softening the muscles either side of that bit of your spine. Keep breathing into that spot. This way of working with the breath is just great for helping injured areas. Whether you're in a resting position or whether you're working a more active pose. Sending the breath to help you connect to that part of you and increase circulation and warmth and awareness around that area. Let's shift to the other side. Bring your arms out either side of you into like a goalpost position and then roll onto your back and then set yourself up to go the other way. So left leg straight, right knee comes in towards the chest, and then you roll over to the left, taking the right knee down to the floor. And again, depends on your neck. For some people, this feels a lot better with the head supported. For some people, you don't need a cushion at all. Then you're taking the right arm and stretching it out past the head. Or if that doesn't feel okay in the shoulder, just bring that arm down. And then take the left hand onto the side of the ribs. Connecting your breath with that part of your spine. And with your exhales, softening around that part of the spine. Staying present breath by breath, feeling breath by breath. Then bring your arms out into goalpost position and roll onto your back. Next, we'll work with some half bridge lifts. For this one, you'll need your cushion to be between the thighs. And if your cushion is thin, fold it in half. You want something fairly chunky to be able to squeeze between the thighs. Then set yourself up into bridge position. The feet are underneath the knees and about hip distance apart. Arms can just rest easily on the floor. Again, we're connecting into that sense of pulling towards the midline that we did in the transverse abdominis activator earlier. Inhale, press the feet down into the floor and spread and lift the toes, still keeping the heels and balls of the feet connected. Exhale, squeeze your thighs onto the cushion, tilt the tailbone up, gather the belly in, and allow the hips to lift just a little. Inhale, relax the hips down to the floor. Keep the feet active all the way through this. Exhale, squeeze the cushion, tilt the tailbone up, gather the belly in, lifting just an inch or two. Inhale into your spot, relax down to the floor. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Do another 4, paying attention to that spot in your spine. Connecting through movement and connecting through breath. And once you're done with those, bring the hips down to the floor and remove your cushion. We'll work next with dipping frog. Let's give this a go. So if you've not seen this before or you can't remember dipping frog, sit up and watch me for a round. It's basically like one breath, you rotate the thigh in. On the exhale, foot goes in the direction of the floor. Next breath, rotate the thigh in. On the exhale, foot moving in the direction of the floor. Doesn't have to actually go all the way there. On the third breath, the legs come out into frog. On the exhale, curling the pubic bone towards the belly button. So again, and with all of that, it's like connecting into that transverse abdominis contraction. And the other thing that's really helpful here is to push the back bottom ribs around here, pressing down into the floor. Okay, let's all do it together now. Knees above the hips, feet a little bit lower than the knees. Inhale and send breath into your spot. Press the back bottom ribs down and rotate the front of the left thigh inwards. The knee pretty much stays where it is. Now on the exhale, you're moving the left foot towards the floor, gathering the belly in. Inhale, leg comes back up to where it was. Press the back bottom ribs down and rotate the front of the right thigh inwards. Exhale, move the right heel in the direction of the ground. Keep the back bottom ribs pressing down, gather the belly in. Inhale, bring the leg back up, and then bring both legs into frog. So the knees and the feet are both wide now. Exhale, curl the pubic bone towards the belly button. Inhale, knees back together. Rotate the front of the right thigh in. Exhale, right heel moves in the direction of the ground. Gather the belly in and keep the back bottom ribs pressed down the whole time. Inhale, foot comes back up. Send the breath to your spine. Rotate the front left thigh in. Exhale, gather the belly in, move the left foot away. Inhale, bring the leg back up and come into frog. Knees are wide, feet are wide. Exhale, curl the pubic bone towards the belly button. Inhale, knees back together. Rotate the front of the left thigh inwards. Exhale, move the left foot in the direction of the ground. Gather the belly in. Inhale, bring the leg back up. Rotate the front right thigh in. Exhale, heel moves towards the ground. Press the lower back ribs down. Gather the belly in. Inhale, knee comes back in. Now take both knees and the feet wide out to the sides. Flex the feet too. Exhale, curl pubic bone towards the belly button. Inhale, knees come back together. Let's do one more round. Rotate the front thigh inwards, front right thigh inwards. Exhale, move the right foot in the direction of the floor. Gather the belly in. Keep the back bottom ribs pressing down. Inhale, bring the leg back up. Rotate the front of the left thigh in. Exhale, left foot moving away. Lower back ribs pressing down, belly gathering in. Inhale, bring the leg back up. Now bring both legs out into frog. The knees are wide and the feet are wide. Feet are flexed. Exhale, curl pubic bone towards the belly button. Gather the belly in. Inhale, knees come back together. Exhale, bring one foot down to the floor and then the other foot down to the floor. I really think with these abdominals that the more you can do them regularly, even if it's just a few minutes every day, just getting more core strength and then being able to access that in everyday situations. Let's move into some standing work now. Just stand in mountain pose to begin with, which is where the feet are parallel underneath the hips. And take your hands onto the front of the pelvis. It's quite common for us to kind of sag the hips forwards here. I'm overdoing it. So that the hips are then over the toes. I want you to bring your hips back so the hip joints are actually over the ankles. And as you do that, you may feel the legs and feet working more. That's a good thing. Also activate your feet by lifting and spreading all of the toes. And then pulling up the muscles in the legs. So the legs are working really strongly. Then let the arms relax. And imagine there's like a thread pulling up from the center of the head as you stand straight here. And take some breaths into that spot in your spine. Noticing how it feels in an upright position. Let's bring a bit of core support in here too. So inhale and activate the feet. Exhale, edge the hips backwards so that the hip joints are over the ankles. Inhale and telescope the ribs up. Exhale, do that transverse abdominis contraction. Gathering the belly in. I want to come into some spinal rolls now. And let's do this with the knees coming into a bit of a bent position. But as you do that, but I don't want you to lose that activity in the legs. So I want you to keep the toes lifting and spreading, keep that sense of the thighs pulling up so that the legs are working as part of this. All right, so inhale and bend the knees some, take the hips back a little. Exhale, let the head relax forwards, let your arms relax forwards. Gather the belly in as you come into a forward bend, bending from the hips, just coming to wherever you come to. In the forward bend, take a big breath into your spot. Then on the exhale, gather the belly in, keep the knees bent and slowly unroll. We'll do this a few times, working with the knees bent. So taking an inhale, now you're upright. On the exhale, gathering the belly in, coming forwards. Taking a deep inhale when you're in the forward bend. And then coming back up on the exhale. Letting yourself take lots of time with this, connecting with that part of your spine. Connecting with it through breath, through movement, and supporting yourself through this movement with this action in the belly. Moving on the exhale, particularly because the exhale is a really natural place to engage the belly. And we want to be moving with the support of the belly. Do one more of these. Moving on the exhale. Connecting to your spine, connecting to your belly. Keeping the feet active too. So the legs are also part of this. Just finishing off the round you're on. We'll do a few standing poses now. Come into Warrior Two. Face the long side of your mat and step your feet 4 or 5 feet apart. Inhale, rotate your left toes out 90 degrees and your right toes in. Exhale and bend your left knee. Let's come into extended warrior variation first. Inhale and drop your left forearm onto the left thigh. Press into the forearm to lift the ribs up. Exhale, take your right shoulder back and wrap the right arm behind your back. If it feels good to the neck here, also relax your neck to the side. Connect your breath with your spot. Feeling for bringing breath there. This subtle healing movement of the breath through the tissues of your body. Unwind your arms and stand up. We'll do a reverse warrior now. Inhale, take the arms out to the side. Legs will stay in the same position. Left knee still bent. Exhale, right arm comes down onto the leg. Left arm comes up into a side bend. Keep sending your breath to the spine. Feeling also the support of your strong legs and your awakening core. Bring the hand that's in the air down, and then turn your feet towards the front. Let's do those two poses on the other side. Inhale, rotate the right foot out and the left foot in. Exhale, bend your right knee. Extended warrior variation first. Inhale, bring your right forearm down onto the thigh. Press lightly into the thigh to lift the ribs up. Exhale, take the left shoulder back and wrap your arm around the back. If it feels good to relax the head to the side, relax the head to the side. Inhale, feel your strong and active feet. Exhale, gather the belly in. Feel for the belly actually moving in as you connect to the core. And then keep some element of that support as you breathe into your spot. Come out of that. And we'll move into reverse warrior. So keep the right knee bent. Inhale, arms stretch out. Exhale, left hand down, right hand up in the air. Continuing to send breath to your spot. Knowing that you can do this outside of yoga class too. If some part of you feels like it needs extra support, extra care, you can breathe into it all day. Okay, come out of reverse warrior, turn both feet to the front, and then heel toe your feet in towards the middle. Next, we'll be doing pyramid with some support under the hands. So you could use a chair or you could use a block. I'll show both. So facing towards the chair, if you're using a chair, you'd have the left foot forward, right foot back. And then you could be doing this with the hands on the chair or a sofa. And I want you to level the hips up. So roll the right hip forward, left hip back. Both legs are straight. Straighten out the left leg too. And if you don't have a chair, you could maybe do this with hands on yoga blocks. Or if you don't have any of those things, just have the hands on the leg. But lightly press down the hands into your leg or the blocks or the chair. And feel for pulling your chest forwards. So the spine is long. And then sending your breath to whichever area of your spine you chose. Noticing the muscles either side of the spine. Let's do the other side. So step your right foot forward, left foot back. And then you're working with this with both legs straight. Ease your right hip back a little bit, left hip forwards. So you're facing square onto the chair. And then take your hands down onto the chair or blocks or leg. Inhale, press your hands down, lift your chest up and forwards a little. Exhale, connect to your core. Feel if that can help support your whole structure. And breathe into your spot. Lift up out of that pose and sit down on your mat. Next, we'll work with a twist, a seated twist. Take your right leg straight out in front of you and cross the left leg over the top. If sitting on the floor feels like it's always a challenge for your back or your hips, I'd recommend sitting yourself up on a block or a cushion. And that can help there be more space to then move the pelvis and be able to sit up straight. So we're doing this right leg straight, left leg crossed over the top. Hold on to this knee with your right hand. Inhale, lengthen the spine up. Exhale, twist around to your left and take the left hand on the floor behind you. Inhale, lengthening the spine, lengthening in your spot. Exhale, easing into this twist as much as feels good for you today. And then reconnect your breath to your area. I love twists for the movement that they bring, for the action that they bring to the muscles along the spine. I find that sometimes that can be really freeing. Sending your breath to whichever part of your spine needs support right now. And then untwist from there and switch the legs over. Left leg straight, right leg crossed over the top. Inhale and make the spine long. Rock forwards on your sitting bones just a little. Exhale, keep hold of the knee with the left hand and bring the right hand behind you. Observing your area on this side. How the experience is similar or different. Sending breath to your spot and sending breath to the muscles either side of that part of the spine. And then untwist from there and come into a lying down position. And I'm going to talk you through a particular meditation here. So lie on your back in a way that's comfortable, either with the legs straight or the legs bent, using any props you need to be comfortable for a few minutes. Keep your breath active and deep. And you'll be focusing on different points along the spine. Start by resting your hands on the hip bones with the fingertips just above the pubic bones. So this meditation, one of my teachers taught me as a way of clearing the aura, as a way of letting go of stuff that we're holding on to that doesn't serve us right now. And the way it works is on the inhale, you connect to bringing in either light or water, whatever feels good right now. And on the exhale, you're just washing that through that part of your spine that you're connecting to and letting go of anything you don't need. So let's start at the base, hands on the hips, fingertips above the pubic bone. Inhale, drawing in light or water to the base of the spine. Exhale, letting go of any tension or stress there. Just letting it wash away. Inhale, drawing light or water into the base of the spine. Exhale, washing away anything you don't need. One more breath, focusing right at the base of the spine. Then move your hands up to the lower belly area. Let's focus now on like the back of the pelvis and sacrum area. Inhale in, sending your breath to the back of the pelvis, drawing in water or light. Exhaling, relaxing around that area. Letting go of any tension, stress, or pain. Take another breath or two into the back of the pelvis. Letting go with each exhale. And then bring your hands up to the solar plexus area. So your fingertips are just below the front of the rib cage. Imagine that part of the spine at the back, like the upper lower back, bottom of the back ribs. Inhale into this area. Exhale, letting go. Drawing in light or water. Letting go of anything you don't need. Then you'll take your hands so that they're above your heart area. So hands above the heart area. And focus on the shoulder blade area and the bit of spine in between the shoulder blades. Inhale into that part of the spine, drawing in light or water. Exhale, letting go, washing away, releasing. Some more breaths here. Then bring your hands up to the neck area, resting one or both hands around the neck or the throat. Inhaling, bringing light or water to this area. Exhaling, letting go, dissolving. Then bring one hand onto the forehead, one hand behind the back of the skull. Inhale, bringing water or light to the center of your brain. Exhale, releasing tension, stress, worry, anything else you don't need. Then take one or both hands onto the top of your head, top of your skull. Inhale, sending light, sending water there. Exhale, letting go of anything you don't need. And then we'll have a minute or two of silence. And if it feels like there's any one of those places you want to go back to, just bring your hands there again. And you could choose to keep breathing actively into that spot, letting go with each exhale. Or if it would feel good just to relax your breath, relax your attention, and just simply rest for a minute or two. Choose whichever will be most healing for you right now. If you want to keep resting here, feel free to turn off the computer and keep resting for a few more minutes. If you want to come out of this, then roll onto one side and sit up from the side. Coming back to being awake. Thank you so much for joining me on the yoga mat today. I would love to hear about how you found that class. Please leave me a comment below so I know you were watching. Otherwise, I'm like, is anyone watching my yoga videos? So leave a comment, click on subscribe. And if you want more yogas from me, you can also head over to my website, inspiratrix.co.uk. And there's details of all of my yoga stuff there, some of which you can access for free, some of which you can join me for live classes, some of which is in-person retreats and teacher trainings, and much, much more. Have a great day. Goodbye.